Here.
Here.
Ms. Lloyd? Here. Mr. Reddinger?
Here.
Ms. Reed?
Here.
Ms. Hillenbecker?
Here.
Ms. Miller?
Here. I'd like to report on our last executive session. We had discussions of real estate and personnel. No action was taken. Now is the time for public comment on agenda items.
Good evening, Council. Robert Follinger, 138 Ann Street, Middletown. Sorry, Mayor. Go ahead, you're there tonight. My concern is these electric rates, that you're gonna set one at, a rate, and the other one is by resolution. I think it's totally wrong. Mayor Curry stood up there and gave all of us in the room about maybe a month ago at a meeting about a synopsis that would work, about taking some of that excess money that is in the trust fund and helping offset the borough residents in reference to the PJM, I guess it is, increase that's going to take place here. I guess it's probably already in place. And I don't have no problems with the, and I'll call it a meter charge, to own a meter in the borough. I don't mind the $10 for that. But now if the rates keep going up at the way they're going, well, I cut back on my air conditioner. My rates didn't change that much. So I guess I'm going to be one of those seniors among probably the thousands that are in the borough are going to have to face more economic stress. So I don't know if I want to go into a home, sell my house, or do what. But I think Mayor Curry's idea that he presented to you people was at least temporarily so that we can start budgeting, so we can figure for a higher increase or a percentage of increase for next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Hi, my name is Jeffrey Benson. I'm a resident of Middletown. I wish to oppose the rate increase and how it's being proposed. I think, for one, it should be an ordinance and not a resolution. The people of this town hired a mayor to make good, sound decisions, to be part of a decision-making process, and not to be shut out because of politics, likes, or dislikes. Let him have the opportunity to veto this decision if he wants to. I feel this rate increase should be prolonged 6 months or so people are not hardship by it. I know 1% is nothing to you, but it is to many struggling in hard times and rising food prices due to Trump's great tariffs. Take money from the electric trust fund of $9 million or the electric slush fund to prolong this for a short time. I know the rate increase must be absorbed by the townspeople, but give them the time to prepare. Some people don't have that type of money to pull out of the air, and there is not adequate publication given to people. It's on a short notice. It's coming to the point that you are driving people out of this town, including myself, because of affordability, because of school taxes, because of water and sewer, and now electric. When is enough enough? No wonder a business wants no part of Middletown. I wouldn't want to come here either. Borough Council needs to improve upon getting businesses into the town and making the appearance of this town much better. The square is a disgrace looking. When you're driving through Middletown, first appearance is everything. I will end. A mayor's job is a thankless job, but Mayor Curry will leave his mark with a balanced budget, and he will be missed. You might wish for things to be better with a new mayor, but that remains to be seen. Either candidate has been silent on this agenda, and I'll end with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rondi Cook. I live at 46 Wharton Avenue, Middletown, Pennsylvania. I have lived here in Middletown for 25 years. I haven't been very happy, I admit, in the past with what happened at the flood with the Borough Council and unfortunately the mayor. But I come to on his behalf. I believe that every mayor should have the opportunity, including if you would become mayor or or somebody else, to be able to step in for the community, the people who they talk to, and be able to stop this by vetoing it and giving more input in from the people. Yes, my wife and I would like to stay in Middletown, but it's getting to be the point in many other places. They're pushing, people are being pushed out of their homes and they're going to senior citizens living. You see them growing like wildfire, and we found out we can afford to do it. And I'm seriously considering it. But who's going to want to buy houses anymore? Most places you look at the new buildings they're building up here near the pool. They don't want big homes anymore. We're going to end up with a bunch of homes in here that are going to become all apartments. And what are you going to do with them then? I hope you keep the mayor in the process that he can veto whatever it is, and not just let a group come in here and say, we're going to pump it up. I think every mayor should have that opportunity to be able to bring common sense into this. I thank you for taking your time to listen to me.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Martha Black, 134 North Union Street. That segues into what I wanted to ask the council for your advice about. Yesterday in, I think it was the Washington Post, the back of the first section, or maybe it was the Wall Street Journal, there was an article about the wraparound services provided for unhoused people in Dallas, Texas, that's working really well. And I'm wondering if we might implement something like that around here. Today, I was just out for a short time, but 2 people came up to me to express their dismay that they could not meet their rent. We just drove home a person whose rent has been doubled, and he can't afford to stay in his apartment anymore, and on and on. So Ellen's vision was to make Middletown a place where youth and children can thrive, and I'm totally with that. So I wonder what we can do regarding creating stable housing and wraparound services for people locally so that everybody can thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Lorraine Rose, and I am 418 Wilson Street. I have a concern that, when I first moved here, my son was 14 years old, Ezekiel. I don't know if some of you may know him. They call him Zay. And this was a beautiful place to be. But now I'm getting a little sad because I'm trying to buy a home, and I don't want to buy one here. And I'm saying the mayor has young children. Doesn't he see what's going on around here? I'm an advocate for children. There's no pool. We didn't even have nights out. What are we doing for our children? But then when they get out there and stay out there in the street and start vandalizing, people want to know, well, what are they doing? You don't have anything for them to do. What are we doing here? Despite the housing, this is getting worse. And I concur with the 2 gentlemen that were here. And they shouldn't have to go into a nursing home after living here for all the years that they have. What are we doing, or what are we not doing? I just need to know, how can we turn this thing around? Those of you that are sitting there, I'm pretty sure you're homeowners as well. And don't tell me you're not going through the same thing they're going through, because I know it's not true. We need to come together and try to find a cause. this is really, I'm ready to leave Middletown. I told Marty I was getting ready to buy a house here. I don't think I want to stay here anymore. My son is 26 now. I'm not seeing any growth. I'm seeing more growth in Harrisburg, which I would never go, than I'm seeing right here, particularly for our children. So somebody has to step up and say, step out of the box. I just retired as a school teacher. Step out of the box and do something different that's going to keep these people here that's been here for 25 and 30 years. And some of you are probably some that fit the same bill. I just want us to act, and I regret, I understand that the mayor wants to leave, and I'm hoping that he doesn't, because he's a young man. You are a young man. And he has children of his own. But what are we doing? How can we make this thing work? I don't like the attack mode. I just want us to come together and figure this thing out. I'd be more than happy to help. If you call me up and say, Lorraine, why don't you help us out? I'm in law enforcement education. I will do it. Let's just pull this thing together, because I really feel bad for these people that are trying to move out into a nursing home because they can't afford to stay in their own home. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
You have to bring something up that is on the agenda. Is that the only we can talk about?
For now,
Okay, thank you.
seeing no one else? Ken, item number 1.
Do I have a motion to approve council meeting minutes for the August 6, 2025 meeting as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 2.
Do I have a motion to approve payment of bills as shown on the accounts payable list dated August 14, 2025, which is for the period of August 1 through August 14 of 2025, and to ratify the approval of such bills already paid and to authorize the appropriate officials to take the required action to make those payments?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 3.
Do I have a motion to approve payment number 12 to Hayden Power Group, which is under invoice 08794, in the amount of $250,848 as recommended by Asplund Engineering Services for construction work at the Spruce Street substation?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I have a question. Mr. Kleinpeter, is the contractor on schedule?
Yes.
No delays?
No, nothing since we extended the contract. No, they're on schedule right now.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Anyone else? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 4.
Do I have a motion to co-sponsor the Middletown Area School District Raider Pack Program grant application to the Dauphin County Gaming Grant Board?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 5.
Item number 5 is ordinance 2025-1421 that's been submitted to Mayor Curry.
Yes. So I have vetoed that ordinance just for the public's education. This ordinance is not the electric rate increase itself. This is an ordinance discussing the manner by which Borough Council has the ability to raise rates in the future. I thought about this long and hard. I will read you what I wrote on the ordinance itself, and then I'll expand on that a little bit. But this is vetoed effective today, August 19th of 2025. The circumstances surrounding the mechanism by which electric rates are adjusted have drastically changed since March of 2016. I and the borough at large have learned a lot of crucial lessons over the past 9.5 years. Adopting this ordinance eliminates a requirement for advanced public notice and the resulting opportunity for public debate, engagement, and feedback. What's more, it eliminates the system of checks and balances designed to prevent abuse and or decision-making without the aforementioned notice and interplay between the citizenry and its elected officials. For these reasons, I hereby veto ordinance 2025-1421 and urge Borough Council to reconsider it. By way of this, Madam President, by way of history, I was sworn into office in January of 2014, and the council at that time, our electric rates were done by ordinance. That was asked 3 times of the borough council, or of the borough manager at the last meeting. But you didn't have the situation where the council was forced to talk about it at a table and set it. What the ordinance said was, here's a calculation, and it was automatic. If something changed, it was an automatic change. Council Brubaker made a motion to eliminate that. And then in February of 2016, we had a presentation by our then solicitor, Adam Santucci, as well as our financial director, Mr. Morgan, who said that the current ordinance does not provide a mechanism for increasing the rates, and that Mr. Santucci and he were working to develop a revised ordinance to address this matter. That was February 9th of 2016. On March 1st, 2016, that ordinance came to a vote, and oddly enough, it was tied, and I was the tie-breaking vote. And I voted to adopt what we currently have, which is your customer service charge is established by ordinance and your rates by resolution. This council is now saying we need to clean that up, and I agree with them. It should be cleaned up. You shouldn't have one section in an ordinance and one section in a resolution. This was a good step in the right direction back in 2016. That's 9.5 years ago. We're now facing a situation where PJM, and I saw a comment on this live stream, I do think the public gets it. This is not the borough council raising your rates just to raise them. This is the wholesaler from which we buy electric has raised the rates, and obviously then that's going to be passed down to our residents. The problem I have with the process, and we'll talk about that when they override this veto, is that I don't think that we have engaged the public enough. I don't think they've had enough time to prepare for it. I think the communication has been poor since September of 2024. Furthermore, with regard to this, if you read the comments or the minutes from when I broke this tie, I was clearly not focused on the mechanism by which we would raise rates in the future. I was focused on the major issue that was at hand when I took office, which was that we had a major budgetary deficit. It specifically says, Mayor Curry voted yes, comma, after confirming the additional electric revenue would plug a hole in the budget, and the motion carried adopting said ordinance. So my concern a year and a half, 2 years into being mayor, was not the manner by which we would raise rates. It was fixing the budget. We don't have a budgetary problem anymore. That's been fixed. And at the last meeting, Ms. Wollenbecker said a few times, no borough council is just going to raise your rates. We don't just do that. It's only because of PJM. Those that don't learn from history are bound to repeat it. Back in August of 2014, August 18th of 2014, that's almost 11 years ago to the day, the borough council sitting here needed to raise your water sewer rates to make your system look more desirable so that they could lease it. Because the company at that time was saying, it's not worth us giving you $40-some million up front and doing this 50-year deal. You don't make enough money from the system. So the borough council chose to raise the water sewer rates to make the system look more profitable and thereby proceed with the most disastrous deal you've ever faced as the residents. And if you read the minutes from that night, Councilor Lauer made a motion to override the mayor's veto of the water sewer rates. That's the exact situation I'm worried about. Not because of these people sitting here, but I know some other people that still live in this borough that if they ever got back on here, I would be heavily concerned about unilateral motions to increase your rates for a variety of reasons with no checks and balances. So that is why I'm vetoing this. I think that the mayor, it won't be me. I'm not looking out for me. I'm done as of the end of this year. But the next mayor is either going to be Angela Lloyd or Jared Knob, and regardless of that I don't get along with either one of them, they should have the power to have a checks and balances on this body. That needs to happen. They need to be able to protect you. If they're getting feedback from the public that they need additional time to prepare for something like this, they should be able to come to your rescue in that moment. So I'm vetoing this ordinance, and they have the opportunity to override it now.
Any other comments or?
Any comments?
I have a comment on that. I agree with the mayor with this. And I would just like us to look at what we're doing right now. If this electric rate went through simply by proclamation, this would have been passed a month or more ago, and these conversations would have never happened. The residents wouldn't be standing in front of us talking about their concerns. I think this has led to a lot of discussion, which I think is really good for us as council, and I think is really good for our community. I would like both the rate and the charge to be by ordinance. I would like to match it up that way.
Anyone else?
This is my 10th year being on council. I've sat as chair, I've sat as council member. One of the things that Mr. Kleinpeter has really taught me is it's sometimes as I was running things, I just wanted things to happen and move. He taught me that the government's supposed to move slow so we can have some checks and balances and things just don't get done. And I've always struggled with that because being a businessman, self-employed, I just want to do things, make decisions, and move. But there's a reason government runs slow, and it's for checks and balances. So this is something piece of wisdom I've picked up over the years of sitting here. That's all.
Angie, do you have anything? Ellen?
Nothing.
Okay, motion? Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-1421 to provide for customer charges, demand charges, and minimum monthly charges for electric service to be set by resolution?
Can I interject? So this is actually to override a veto. So if you recall, that requires a supermajority, which would be 5. So it's the regular majority plus 1 of the elected officials.
Right. Let me read it again.
Sure.
Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-1421 to provide for customer service charges, demand charges, and minimum monthly charges for electric service to be set by resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Grace, can I have a roll call?
Mr. Kliskevich,
Yes.
Mr. Lister,
No.
Ms. Lloyd,
Yes.
Mr. Redinger,
No.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Willenbecker,
Yes.
Ms. Miller.
Yes. Motion passes.
Supermajority, yeah.
Supermajority. Item number 6.
Do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-19 setting the electric customer charge, demand charge, and energy charges beginning at September 2025 and then changing in January 2026 as per Exhibit A in your packet, with said rates and charges to remain in effect until changed by further resolution?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes. So, for those following along at home and here, now they've overridden the veto, so now they're going to move forward with setting your rates by resolution. As a mayor, the mayor has no power to veto a resolution, so I cannot veto these rates. I will bring up and remind the body of the suggestion I made before. I am hopeful that as teammates we can look at it and say, okay, despite who's saying it, it's a good suggestion that gives the people what they want. I've conducted a poll on my Facebook page. As an elected official, one of the more frustrating things you deal with is getting public engagement. So I can only go by the engagement that I get. And the engagement that I received was that the people of this town are not concerned about the customer service charge of the extra $10. That's not their gripe. They're concerned about the kilowatt charge going up, and that's going to hurt them, especially if they have poor windows, doors, little to no insulation, electric baseboard heat. We all know that story. What I had proposed before was that the Electric Trust Fund, and I won't get into a history lesson here, but that the sole purpose of that fund is designed to give a reprieve to the residents or businesses of this town when an electric rate increase is imminent. That's what I think we should do here. I understand that this body is concerned about depleting the account because you have some ideas about maybe solar or peak shaving generators. I get all that. And that you don't want to deplete the account because then you wouldn't have the money to pay for those items. I'm not asking you to deplete the account. I'm asking us to use the interest from when we brought this up. This topic, and I will reiterate, I don't think that we as elected officials or the borough have done a good enough job of warning people about this impending increase. We brought it up at a council meeting in September of 2024. When I asked the public, and again I can only go by what is provided back to me, when was the first time you heard about this? They will say, your video. People don't go to the borough website. I'm sorry. They don't. So if we're not pumping out information, it's going to take elected officials to give the information to them. I don't think that they've had enough time to prepare for it. I have pulled some numbers that 2024 is the first time that Greg Wilsbach stood at that podium and brought it up, PJM, the increase. In 2024, the year that we first brought it up, we earned $599,090.98 in interest on the electric trust fund. So call it $600,000. This year, to date, we have earned $216,968 in interest in the electric trust fund. If you annualize that, by the end of the year, we should have about $371,945.14 in interest. If you add those two together, the year that we first brought it up and this year where we're still arguing about it, that's $971,036.12. The account, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Sally, you could correct me if I'm wrong, I believe we're approaching 12 million in it. And that includes the stuff from last year that I just referenced. Okay, so again, I don't think we need to worry about the customer service charge, the $10. It sounds to me like the residents are saying that they could absorb that, but I think they should have a little time to prepare for the electric rate increase. I have heard, I'm not saying hundreds of people, I have had a handful of people say to me, if you just pushed it off 6 months, I would take my tax return and pocket it so that when we actually do face the increase, which they know is inevitable, at least they have money sitting there to adjust for it. You know, back when we were balancing these budgets that I complained about for year after year, I would hear from people on this body that would say, $200 in a year is a lot for people. $200 in a year, broken out monthly, is $16, $17. We're now talking about something that, if it is increased, could be far more than that. So I'm not sure why the same argument doesn't apply. If we were to offset the commercial charges for this year, not the customer service charge, but the increase on energy and demand, you would need about $134,420. If you were to offset the residential charge, energy charge next year, and the commercial charge next year, you would need $805,512. So to do as I propose for 2025 and 2026 and give them that reprieve, you would need $939,582. And between last year and this year, you earned $971,036.12. So if we proceed as I suggest, not only would you give the residents and the commercial customers a reprieve of a year during which you can talk about your solar or talk about the peak shaving generation, you also still would grow the account because you're going to be taking in more money than you're spending. While I understand it's going to deplete it down to 11 million, you're not going backwards. You're going from what you had in 2024 and simply using the interest from 24 and the interest in 25 to give them the opportunity to prepare. So as a sign of, I understand you've overridden the veto, I live with it. I'm now proposing this because I think it's a compromise. You still would have the 11 million in the account. It will continue to grow thereafter. And if you do come up with something in the next year that happens to be 13 million, you say, see, Jim, I wish we wouldn't have spent the 900. You have cash sitting over in the electric department of 16 million, and you probably have a couple million of that you could use to supplement. So I don't think that you're pigeonholing yourself into this solution and foregoing another project in the future by doing it. I think you're balancing the interests of the residents and the commercial users with our future goals of trying to offset the rates, and it gives you a full year to figure it out.
So, with that being said, and I honestly think it's a genius idea to do that, but one thing I wish this council would also take into consideration is if we use that money to offset the rates for another year, we've just briefly talked about possibly expanding our customer base. And by doing that, which is something we could possibly do in 6 months to a year, we may not have to do any rate increase at all. So your businesses do that all the time by expanding their network, bringing in more customers, increases revenue. We may not even have to do a rate increase. And that's something I think is extremely possible, I think is hopeful. We might be able to do, we may not be able to do it, but if we take this option, it gives us 6 months to a year to explore those options. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and the rate increase will be implemented. But there's some potentials here between that, between the solar, between the peak generation. Now, I don't think this body could achieve a peak generation in a solar in 12 months. It's not feasible with engineering and land and real estate. It's not feasible. But there's options out there, and I think this body should just take a break and explore all those options.
Right. May I add to that point?
Sure.
The idea of helping residents with this first jump in rates was not discussed with the body originally. It was presented to the public, but it was not discussed here at the table with the 7 of us. And so to add to the conversation, the 7 of us are not against supporting that idea. No one at this table has said that's a silly idea and we're not doing it. You've never heard that from any of us. Instead, what you've heard is this situation, when you say it came upon the residents quickly, it came upon all of us quickly.
We've been
In
talking about it since
September-
September of 24.
In September of 2024, that is when then Electric Director Wilsbach came to all of us and said, this is coming on the horizon. We immediately started and we engaged in a study to understand what this meant, not just for the residents, we're residents also. Those of us who sit here aren't making decisions that don't affect us all. It took until June or end of May for that study to come forward. It is a very long time to wait for information, but that is how it rolled. And so that presentation was the first we all heard of these increases specifically, with detail, how much a year, how much a year, how much a year. We know that Governor Shapiro has put a bit of a cap on the first 2 years. You had said, could we get something done in 2 years? 2 years is a short period of time. I will agree with that. But the point I hope we can all kind of also keep in mind is at our next meeting on September 2nd is the first time this council will hear in detail information about electric self-generating ideas that really could buffer and mitigate rising increases for years and years and years to come. So we are only taking our time. As Councilor Redinger said, government moves slowly. Yes, indeed it does. For all sorts of reasons. Checks and balances is a good example. But for all sorts of reasons, when we have to wait for information to make the best decisions. So if anyone is interested in continuing with this conversation, I ask you to come on September 2nd, because that's when we will all be hearing for the first time what options and opportunities we have to spend that $11 million. $11 million may not even be enough. We do not know. So please, don't hear that council is against this idea. It feels like we simply need a few more weeks to see the whole picture, all of our opportunities, and then we'll be able to make a plan that is not just short-term and slow government, but is best for all of us. We certainly are trying to do the best job possible on behalf of the residents.
So, as you're talking, I thought of something that Jim had mentioned. Jim, you mentioned back with that water sewer deal that predates me, that council increased the rates to make our water system more appetizing to a buyer.
Right.
So in this situation, actually the reverse. For our rates being lower, it actually makes our system more appetizing to new customers. So by us raising our rates, it doesn't help us in our argument for acquiring those new customers. So like if you have a customer A is paying 10 cents and customer B is paying 12, and then you increase it by, there's really no point to make two savings. It's like, you're not really doing anything for me. So holding the line actually makes our system more appetizing to a broader customer base.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm not against.
And that idea that you suggested is another one. Very exciting opportunity. Would help a lot. And we need a little more time for that to come forth. It's a great opportunity.
I won't be sitting at this table to vote to spend that money in that trust fund. It'll be a new group of people, and I wish them the best luck with it. I don't think this body should deplete it, but if we can use a little bit of the interest, I think it's a win-win for everybody in the long run. I don't think we should just blow through it, and I mean
right.
that.
Right.
I truly mean that.
And again, no one has said it's not a good idea. All we've said is, could we wait until we have all the information to make the best decision? That's all.
2 points. One, this is not the first time I've ever brought this up to this body tonight. I've discussed using the interest prior to tonight, 100%. And number two, you have just said multiple times during your comments that you want more time to investigate solar. You're asking these people to come on September 2nd to talk about or to hear these ideas. Well, if we as the body need more time to figure out if a feasible option exists, why don't they? If you're either going to raise the rates tonight or you're not by resolution. And what I suggest is that you don't, and you say we're going to plug that with this interest because it's their money anyway. That's what the trust was specifically designed for, was to offset rate increases. So if you think that the 7 of us, the 8 of us, including the mayor, deserve the opportunity to hear about what could be on the horizon as options to help them in the future, well then why does using the interest to push the hurt off that would hit them off into the future to give us the opportunity to do that? It would give us the opportunity to hear the meeting on September 2nd. It would give them the opportunity to hear the meeting on September 2nd. And if nothing comes out of September 2nd, they've at least had a year of advance notice that this is happening. And we'll do better communicating ongoing about the future ones that will be coming down after the last auction. But the point is, we deserve the time, but they also deserve the time. They shouldn't pay the increased rate while we sit here on September 2nd and then hear that presentation, argue about that for the next year. We should see if we could get information on the 2nd, see if there's anything that's feasible to investigate, especially his idea, and then give the people that reprieve until we figure out whether or not an option exists. That's my point.
That is a point well taken, except that the hurt doesn't occur next year. That's a $10, or even the year after that, an additional 10. Where the hurt will come is years 3, 4, and 5.
I'm not talking about the $10 at all. They're paying that. I'm talking about giving the residential rate and the commercial rate. We get it. There's future rate increases coming down. You as an elected official owe a duty to those people from now through this increase and into the next one to constantly remind them that it's coming. Not because all of you are trying to take advantage of the public by raising rates, but because PJM is forcing us to. They understand that. This is not the Borough Council, evil Borough Council raising rates just to do it. Do I think other people exist in this borough that would? Yes, which is why the veto would have been nice. But going forward for 26 and 27, they should be better informed about what PJM does. The auction, the results, what that next rate will increase, what it could look like. Even if it's a guess, they should know that it's coming. We haven't done a good job with that here. Take the time to give them the year to prepare. Let people get their tax returns and put a little bit aside. Let us do the meeting on September 2nd, and let's see what we can do. Maybe his idea solves it all. And we can do that in a short period of time. That they don't ever feel the rate then. If we do this with the interest, they don't feel the rate, his idea comes to fruition and it's over, they don't ever feel it.
Because you also got to realize if we expand our customer base, now we're buying more energy. We should get a
I
better.
don't think we should be talking about expanding customer base outside the borough, because there are state laws on enterprise utilities like ours that would involve a solicitor looking at all those before
Oh
you.
yeah, just an idea. Just an idea. There's many moving parts.
I think it's important to say again, I know different people on this council have different opinions of where we should go with this, but this isn't the council, increasing this. It's a must thing that has to happen, right? But I really do think, and this is just my honest opinion, like you say $10, it's not a lot, but I think we're doing the community and the residents a disservice if we aren't willing to sit down and look at options involving the trust like he suggested. The mayor did bring this up, whether it was 2 meetings ago. You're right, we didn't talk about it, but he brought it up and we could have spoken up about it amongst ourselves. I think it's a great idea, and I really think we should hold off on voting on this until that meeting, the September 7th, until we entertain how could we use the interest to help buffer. At the end of the day, we're going to have to increase it somehow in some way, and it's going to happen. But that's my stance.
Sally, what's the total in the trust? What's the balance?
It is, I believe, almost 12 million, 11.9 right now.
So in June, you told me it was 10,363,000. It jumped that much from the end of June?
That might not be correct, but the current cash balance report that's in your packet shows you the current balance.
So I would like to know whether it's tonight or you can email me. I want to know out of this balance, how much of that balance is from interest and what is left from the actual settlement part.
Well, I can give you an interest report from 2022, if that's what you want to have that information. Jim's numbers are current, what we made in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And
She come up to the
year-to-date
Yeah.
2025. So the numbers that Jim quoted were for the 2024 interest earned
Mm-hmm.
and year-to-date 2025.
So what is this balance that you gave me in June? That didn't
I
include
don't
any
know, I'll have to
interest?
go back and look. It may not have included all the interest. We, on average, in that account
Mm-hmm.
is about $46,000 per month of interest.
Okay. So if we started with 18 million and now we're at 11, 12 million and the borough has taken out 7, we still haven't, since when was this, 1999, replaced all the money with interest that it's withdrawn.
Based on what you just said, I would agree.
Okay. I would still like to know what has come in from interest.
I actually already have it.
Yeah,
I can
just if you can
send
send
it
it
to
to
you.
me. Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about interest from the life of it, from 1999, or?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Or whatever you have, as far back as you can go. I'd like
okay.
to see
Well,
what.
I know I have it for 2022 and above.
Okay,
So
that would be
I
great.
will- I'll
From
take a look at-
2022 forward.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
can take a look back to see how far I can go.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to see that.
Out of curiosity, does anybody know the last time council has used it to offset rates?
2014,
Okay, it was a while ago.
and that was 888,000.
No one at this table has ever done it then.
I did,
She did.
Oh.
when I was on council the first 8 years.
Did you vote for it that time?
I voted to transfer to, offset the rates, yes, I did. But I also found out what happens when you stop offsetting the rates. Then our constituents feel the pinch. And then it really hurts. Because once we stopped doing it, everybody felt what the real rates were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I thought you were done, but go ahead.
So it made a difference. And it threw the borough into chaos back then too.
Sorry. So, originally, when this came up in June, the hope was that this would all go through for July billing, and obviously we're in August and it did not happen. So what has this cost the borough since it did not happen, and now we're through, I guess, we're another.
Jim, do you have those numbers in front of you?
I think it was 80,000 in
The first
June.
month it was
yeah.
$80,000 in June.
And, you know, you could guess that the next one was comparable, I'd say.
So if we,
Oh, thank you. So the total for 2025 was about 403,000 for the customer service and the customer service for both residential.
She's talking about what our increase in our wholesale cost has been since.
Right,
The
but to
rate
cover it,
no, I'm just talking about from,
oh, okay, I got, all right, I understand.
So far. And the first month, June, it was up $80,000 from the prior month.
okay.
But now that doesn't mean every month's the same, because if it's a cooler month,
So
July.
you would think July
Rob's
would be a
saying
little
it's-
bit more and
Right.
probably August as well.
Right.
So Rob's saying it has increased again, a little bit more, each month.
July and August.
Mm-hmm.
So if we put this off through the September, that would be another billing cycle. So technically, it probably wouldn't go into effect till October.
No, we can change the rate on the system for September billing. But you're right, depending on how the cycle hits during the month, some may not be getting it until October. Depending on when the billing cycle ends we have 4 cycles. So some get billed earlier in the month, some get billed later. So the dates to from are gonna be different.
So the 80,000 from June, what fund did that come from?
It gets paid with all of our other bills.
No, I know, but I
The
mean.
full cash is
Okay.
our checking.
From the electric?
Yes,
Okay,
our checking account, which is
Okay.
basically what it is.
okay. So, I think I'm gonna bite and I'll say, we should hold till September 2nd. We've waited this long, let's wait till September 2nd, have the meeting, see what they say, and then we can discuss.
One point of clarification, I wasn't suggesting wait at all. I know Angie said that and Pat said that. I wasn't suggesting wait at all. I was saying use the interest and pay it right now. And that way you're not bleeding to the point that Angie just made, and it's done. It's done for a year. Then you have all the time in the next 13 months or more, because you would actually be done with 26. So that's 12 months. You'd have September, October, November, December. You'd have a year and 4 months to figure out your options if you plugged it right now with that interest.
Because then we'll have the presentation, we'll have at least an idea of what we're, which way we're leaning, and then we can entertain what, we want to do with the trust, or, can we do that?
Want to make a motion to table?
Well, I was gonna say, I think we have an issue,
You have a motion on.
Sunshine Act wise, in that we had a specific category of resolution for rate increase.
Yeah, you have a motion on the table and you have a second,
Second.
so you're gonna have to vote on it.
Yeah.
And if it's voted down,
Yeah, I think you
then
gotta wait
it's
till the
dead
next
for
meeting.
now, and you can
To
wait
plug it with
till,
this.
if
Yeah.
you wanna wait
Well,
Sunshine
next
Act
meeting
wise.
to
You know what I mean?
put
If you
another
just said,
resolution forth or after.
Mm.
deal with electric, or,
deal with the increase it would have flowed.
yeah, I mean, right now, I don't think council can take actual action on the trust fund issue tonight
That's
based
correct.
on the
Right.
agenda.
Right.
That would have to be the next meeting, and, and if you're looking at different options, we may wanna think about how we're wording the agenda broadly,
Mm-hmm.
to give flexibility there, cause, like I said, right now, it's real specific, it's, pass or
Mhm.
don't pass the resolution as drafted.
Okay.
How do we do, who would write, would there be possibility to have something in front of us with options using the trust fund interests, like next meeting?
Well, it has to come up next meeting. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're just bleeding more and more money
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the, with
But like
the
to see
increased
something in
cost.
front of us of like, this is an option, I don't know who would do that, who would write that out. Sally, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just saying for the agenda purpose, it could be as basic as potential for using trust fund monies to
Oh,
subsidize.
okay.
We would wanna have a broad category and, you know, and maybe have one potentially setting rates and you have, if you're
But
gonna do
I
that,
think
have a
I
bunch of
hear-
different
I
versions.
think I
of it.
hear something that sounds a little different from Counselor Lewis.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
not about trust fund money, it's just about buying time. Not increasing anything, but waiting to get some more information.
Well, fortunately, we
what-
have
yeah,
until
you're right.
24 hours before the next meeting to nail down the wording of the agenda. I'm just suggesting, you know, you'll want to put enough on the agenda that you can take any kinds of actions that, and you can have multiple lines of things if you want, but, you know, have flexibility in your agenda.
So then if we want to wait until September 2nd, we would vote it down knowing we could bring it back up at on another agenda, on a future agenda? That's
Yeah, or you
that's
could
our
even,
option.
you could table it, you could vote it down, you could do whatever you want.
Where's the date of the next council meeting?
Second, right?
Second.
So couldn't you put on the agenda for the second, this same exact resolution that they have now? And you could also put a subsection of that of using electric trust transfer to cure increase. That would solve the sunshine issue and give them the ability to choose.
Yeah, or you can even have a, you know, instead of resolution blah, blah, blah,
Just put electric rating.
you could have the next one just say, you know, set electric rate. You have to give enough notice for the public if they're looking to wanna come to the meeting to talk about it. And if you make it too narrow,
The other thing that should be made clear tonight is this resolution that was before council tonight does not have a rate increase for the per kilowatt hour for residential at all in 2025.
Correct.
It's just a customer service charge.
So we should move on that, and then, so we could move on this one, and then,
Not tonight, because your resolution wraps it all together in one resolution.
Has 26 in there too, right?
Has 26 in there, has a schedule attached. and
As the commercial.
If you're gonna do something completely different from here or tweak it somehow, you're gonna have to have a different resolution drafted by your solicitor.
well, I don't wanna overemphasize the narrow, I mean, you could always make changes to your proposed resolution on the fly here. What I'm saying is you can't get that far out of the bandwidth, I don't think, as solicitor to say, we're now gonna put in the idea of taking trust fund monies, et cetera, that's
It's a different.
But if you were, for example, to say, you have a debate, and you say, instead of, you know, making the customer rates X, we're gonna make them Y, you can do that under the Sunshine Act.
You can, but I would recommend against
I
that.
hear what you're
council,
saying. I'm
'cause we hired
I
a
just-
professional rate designer to
yeah.
look at
I
that.
just wanted to clarify
Yeah.
the Sunshine Act part.
Wouldn't the use of an electric trust fund be by resolution as well?
Yeah.
So then, if this resolution is here for rates, and you're saying you could tweak this resolution, can't you say these rates, per this rate schedule on this resolution, comma, but for this period of time to be paid from the electric trust fund? It's still the same resolution then.
Well, you're doing something pretty significant with the trust fund, and I have to go back, I think the trust document even has something about the mechanism, like it has to be by resolution. That, I think, you know, there's some artistry with it, but I think that's too far outside the parameters of the agenda item.
So, Mr. Solicitor, at this point now, if council after this discussion is thinking about holding off on this resolution, we have a motion and a second, and we're having a discussion. So if they wanna hold off and table, would you ask for one of these two to rescind their motion before you table?
You could ask for, somebody wanna amend it, and then you'd have to take a vote on
Just call the roll.
the amendment. Angie's got.
but if we vote on this resolution and then decide at some point that we want to offset the rate, not the customer charge, but the rate with funds from the trust, couldn't that be a separate resolution?
Yes.
Oh, well, then that would
Yeah, then
be
why
the
can't we
easiest
just
thing
pass
to
it?
do.
So we can do the customer
Because-
charge tonight?
You can,
The commercial rates go up in '25.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I said that's correct.
Right, so if you pass this, the
Right.
commercial rates are increased today.
I understand that.
So
I'm just,
that's what I was saying when I gave you these figures, was that I was trying, the customer service charge, I don't think is of consequence. I didn't hear that feedback from anyone on Facebook, anyone in person. The $10 is not the concern, and I think the same goes for commercial. But when I said that you needed 134,420 for '25, that was the commercial rate.
yeah, I understand
So
that.
I was trying to offset the commercial rate in '25 and the residential and commercial rate in '26 for a total of $939. So if you pass this tonight, then the commercial rate is happening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so are we rescinding? Are we voting it down? What are we doing? Are we,
right now you have a
Yeah,
motion and a
first one-
second,
Right.
right,
and no one has, made a motion to amend the motion. If there were a motion to amend, then there would have to be a vote on that. If that were approved, then you would go into the vote on the amended
So
motion.
you can motion to amend,
I-
or
I-
you can just vote on what's there, and
Yes.
if it fails, it fails. It doesn't
Yeah.
happen tonight.
Would we be amending that we're going to
Hmm.
table it then, or?
No.
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 You know, we
I
have
think
an
we should
electric
vote.
report coming up tonight.
Alright.
You could vote on this if it fails. You want to discuss more options on the electric report about somebody preparing something, whether it be Mr. Diamond or whatever, I guess you could take it up then, but that's up to
Hmm.
you how you want to handle it.
Is there any more discussion?
No.
Then call the roll.
Grace, can we have a roll call?
Mr. Kliskevich,
Yes.
Mr. Lister,
No.
Ms. Lloyd,
Yes.
Mr. Readinger,
No.
Ms. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Willenbecker,
Yes.
Ms. Miller.
Yes. Motion passes.
So just so the residents are clear, they just raised everything tonight, residential and commercial.
Man, it wasted my time. I could have been out here 30 minutes ago.
Item number 7.
Do I have a motion to approve advertising for the street dedication of Sage Boulevard and Willard Hills Phase 4?
So moved.
Second.
There's a big,
There's a motion
I'll never
and a
get that time
second.
back in my life.
Is there any discussion?
No.
No. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 8.
Clearly, Ms. Wallenbecker, it didn't matter when I brought it up, because you weren't in favor of it. You had the opportunity to do the right thing. I'm not,
And did you vote on that or no?
I voted on this last one. Say aye. Thank you. Sorry.
You say you care about what the people think in here.
Sir, you're gonna have to wait till you're recognized.
I have to go home, I have a thing. But you say you wanna listen to what the people have to say. Tell a lot of people, I'm not fond of the mayor, I'm not fond of the borough council here. But
Sir.
I'll say when I pay taxes, I don't give a shit what
You
you.
need to quiet down.
I am going to say what I want. The people spoke to this man. They listened to him, and you just took out the right word of it. You people don't want the people to come to the mayor's speech. You can't reject anything that comes up
Enough.
anymore. You know, when it comes
Yes,
to
Dan.
vetoing
What?
something.
Yes, Dan.
You
Dan,
wonder why people don't come
Can you
to the-
help me with this,
Thank
please?
you, sir.
I'll leave. I'll tell you one thing, this is a damn shame. You people ought to hold your head in shame. And you, of all people, I never thought you would do that. And you won't get my vote now.
Okay, thank you.
people are gonna know that you guys turn them down and don't care to listen. And they need cops here because they don't wanna hear what people have to say.
I think we're on 8.
Item number 8.
Do we get 7?
Do I have a motion to approve advertising for the acceptance of sewer lines within the portion of Sage Boulevard at Woodland Hills?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 9.
Do I have a motion to approve advertising for the acceptance of water lines within the portion of Sage Boulevard at Woodland Hills?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 10.
Do I have a motion to approve advertising for the stop sign intersections on Sage Boulevard and Woodland Hills?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 11.
Do I have a motion to approve the post-dedication financial security for Woodland Hills Phase 4 in the amount of $94,158 as recommended by HRG Engineering?
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 12.
Do I have a motion to approve the reduction of HT Partners LLC letter of credit number STB 588 for phases 4, 5, and 7 to a balance of $491,341 as recommended by HRG?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 13, Manager's Report.
Okay, Madam President, we already looked at the reports on Woodland Hills. My item number 1 there is talking about Woodland Hills Phase 4 advertising to adopt the ordinances required and for accepting the dedications. If anybody has any objections or don't have any objections, we'll put that on the agenda for our next meeting.
Okay.
The same you'll see on number 2. There's a request for a reduction in their letter of credit for phases 4, 5, and 6. And that is the one we just voted on. So skip that one.
Those 4, 5,
The
and
both,
7.
okay.
Yep.
Special request application was received from the Moose Lodge for the use of Huffer Park on October 25th from 11 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. to hold a fall festival and Halloween parade. They're requesting the festival be held from the Grub Street Bridge into Huffer Park from noon to 5 p.m. and will include a car show, chili cook-off, pumpkin painting, a hayride, entertainment, and food. They're also requesting enclosure of the alley at Daisy Avenue. The parade will start at 6 p.m. and end at 8:30 p.m. with staging of the parade to start at 5 p.m. Police officers are requested for the escorting of the parade and Public Works for cleanup after the event. Staff will be meeting with the Moose, and I think they did that today, and will provide additional information as the Grub Street Bridge is not within the borough limits. So without any objection, we'll add that to the agenda for a vote in September. We have an application requesting a handicap parking space for 201 West Water for a tenant who lives at 301 Catherine Street, apartment 3. So the handicap space would be for 301 Catherine. There's another handicap space on West Water Street, but it's located on the other side of the street. Both the Codes Department and Police Departments have reviewed the application and recommend approval. We will add that to the agenda as well, if there aren't any questions. Okay,
I have a question.
go ahead.
Is this going on Water Street, it's going on Catherine Street, correct?
Catherine Street, where the apartment is, yeah, the owner lives on Water Street, I think,
Okay,
and the owner has given permission.
okay. And the other one is on Catherine.
Yeah.
There's just,
There's one across the street from where this one's going.
right,
Okay,
yes,
but there won't be any on water.
no,
Okay.
no, that's just the owner lives.
Okay,
Sorry,
all right,
sorry for the confusion.
all right.
Okay, we received a correspondence from Julian Itcher, president of Lafayette Trail. They want to donate a sign to Middletown to honor Marquis de Lafayette's brief stop for dinner in Middletown on January 30th, 1825. The marker signs are 2x3 cast aluminum and honors the national colors of France and the United States, and there's an attached picture in your packet. They're requesting written permission as well as GPS coordinates as to whether the marker will go, where the marker will go, and they will add it to their map. Apparently they have a tour map of this Marquis de Lafayette Trail. According to George Fisher's great-great-granddaughter, Lafayette stopped at a tavern next to the Farmer's Hotel, which is currently was the Lamppost / Bruno's on East Main Street. So if you're interested in that, putting that sign up along the street somewhere, we'll have to talk about a location for it at some point, somewhere in that area. But we'll put it on the agenda for you to vote on if you're interested in doing that.
Okay.
Okay, Grace and Mercy Church, I think we talked one of our last meetings, they have now removed their special event request to have, to remove the fundraising for the fire department. They're simply going to rent a pavilion for their get-together, and they're going to honor the fire department, but they're not fundraising.
Okay.
Okay. So just wanted to bring you up to date on that. We also have a special event request where we're looking to put on the agenda for the homecoming parade, which is going to occur on October 4th. That parade starts at 10 a.m. at Huffer Park and ends at Memorial Field around 1:30. They're requesting police escort and traffic control as well. No objections, that will go on your agenda for September. Item number 8 there, we've got a request from a gentleman who owns a company called Dreams to Reality. He's looking for a letter of support. He would like to bring in a youth center in Middletown. He had one years ago, back in 2008 to 2011, on 56 East Emil Street, which is currently occupied by a business now. But
Is that where the tattoo shop moved?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. He doesn't have a location. He was asking for any kind of support he can get from the borough, and I haven't talked to him directly yet, but we can't provide a space. We don't have a space for that. Plus, he's a 501c3. But if you look in your packet there was a former manager back in 2011, I think, that gave a brief letter saying that the borough supports your idea of helping out the disadvantaged youth and so forth, and just a letter of support that he might be able to use to go get fundraising somewhere, from somebody. But I wanted you to look at that, see if you're interested in supporting in some way. I know it's not a lot of information because he doesn't have a place yet, but we told him we would bring it to your attention.
Is he asking us to provide a place for him to use?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it...
Ask for one of many things, one or the other. Can you provide a place? Can you provide money? Or if not, can you provide a letter supporting what I'm doing?
He also seemed to ask for cash.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not legal for a municipality to give contributions even to nonprofits.
Right.
And he's the same person that ran that.
Back in 2008 to 2011. Apparently a private owner of that building at the time allowed him to use that space for a tax deduction. So the borough had no skin in the game, but they did provide a letter saying, we support what you're doing for the youth in the community, basically.
Gotcha. So that's where that came from here. It says, we're asking for letters of support. That was one of the things. Okay.
So we we could send them a letter saying we're in support of you performing some, to support the youth of the community, but however, we can't donate money or space, we don't have.
I'll say, I would be glad to say, like, let's offer you a letter of support, but if, sir, whoever you are out there, if you wouldn't mind coming in and telling us about your organization, we'd love to hear about it in person.
Yeah, I did, he was corresponding, I guess, through email with Grace at the time, but, we weren't able to get him to come in, so we could maybe, before we do anything, say, hey, come in and tell us more.
I would like that.
Yeah, I think, yeah, there's kind of a seal of approval,
Yeah.
like, you don't, like, you find out people were convicted, or, hypothetically.
Right.
I mean, you start handing out letters.
Yeah, and they go to the gaming board with it. and
Yeah, so I was gonna say, it's kind of odd because it's not a gaming board one, because then you kind of know what the rules are, and what's
Yeah.
going on, and what they're gonna use it for.
Right.
You make a
I think
decision.
that is the best way to go. If he needed a letter of support and we better understood the project and then understood exactly who was to receive the letter of support, rather than just having this blank letter of support from
Yeah, I
us
think it
that
would be
could
better.
go
Anywhere.
out and about and we're not sure
You're right,
where.
it would be better for us to send the letter of support to whoever he wants it to go to, not to
Mhm.
him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
If he's fundraising or
Gotcha. All right, we'll, take that into advisement, and I'll have a conversation with him. The next one there is the, special request again. This one is from Dana Schlater, requesting permission to have a milkshake truck in her driveway at 212 Pine Street for trick or treat on October 30th of this year from 5 to 8:30 as a fundraiser for the Middletown Area High School
the
prom.
prom.
They did that last year, right?
I think they did, yeah.
I don't
We'll put-
remember that.
I think they did. So we'll put that on your agenda as well. And then the, last thing I have is the, if you recall, we engaged the Cohen Law Group to, work with us on renewing our Verizon, cable service franchise agreement. And, the, requirements there for that are to go out and have a public hearing. And, I'm asking to, add this to the actual public hearing to our September 16th workshop agenda. We'll put the ad out. It doesn't need your motion or anything to do. I want to make you aware of it. But as far as the public hearing, I'd rather do that at the workshop in September. September 2nd is going to be rather crowded. And I have to leave that meeting early to go to my conference 2.5 hours away after the meeting, so I'm gonna leave here a little early. So, I talked to, Common Law Group, they said late September's fine for to do it, so.
Okay.
See if you're okay with that, okay?
Okay,
That's all I have, so we can move on.
okay. Item number 14, codes.
Hello.
Hi, Jason.
So with the report that I have here, just some of the statistics for the month of July, fairly manageable. We already discussed the handicapped application, so we just move on to number 4, and that's the sheds ongoing situation in the borough properties. Last speaking with Solicitor Diamond, we're trying to get a letter to one of the associations, and we'll just go from there.
And it sounded like Matt had contact with a specific person. Your email, at least I saw, was Ms. Welco or something. So you're talking to somebody personally?
Yeah, we
Okay.
have not had any.
Yeah, we've gotten no.
That,
Okay.
so we have some sheds that.
Like somebody's raising their hand in the back that sounds.
Dave?
They have information.
Yeah, so I can only comment on the MABA sheds down there. Our anchors for the sheds are in place. The only thing we're waiting on is, the vents.
And how many sheds do you have on the?
So we have the shed at Med Ed, and we have 2 sheds along Susquehanna Street. The other 2 belong to, NYC.
Do we know which is which down there?
We're going to have a visit, so we know which sheds are which for those.
Okay. I can explain them to you then after the meeting if you need me to.
Yeah, I plan to contact you guys tomorrow, so it's great.
Okay.
They're here to get that done right now.
Is Fry yours too?
From MAB.
Yes, Fry is also ours. That shed, we have our organization meeting on Sunday, and we have talked about possibly just getting rid of that shed, just because it does need some work and we don't use it as much. I don't know if the anchors are actually on that shed yet, but we can get final answers on that Sunday. Like I said, we're just trying to decide if we want to keep that shed or if we just want to get rid of it.
What's your name?
My name's Dave Thompson. I'm Vice President of Baseball for
Okay.
So that'll clear that association up here, and I had been working with one of the relatives that.
Yeah, I believe it's Mike.
Yes, yeah. So that is an ongoing process, but at least it's a process.
Yeah, we are having a problem though with Middletown Youth Club, and I also looked up and saw they're delinquent in their real estate taxes on property in town. So I don't know what's going on with them, but I've sent, you know, and it sounds like Matt has also, and I know Jason, we've been trying to, the only thing we have is an email address, and obviously not taking us seriously. And Matt, I know I'm kind of going out over here. Did they fix the insurance issue yet?
No.
They still haven't? Okay. Oh, you think? Oh, okay. Okay, we'll sort that out then. I just, but.
Sorry, did you just say that you got an insurance that said MABA on it?
No, it does not.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we're also wrapping up some of the other ordinances with the solicitor that have been in council's review for some time.
That's
So,
your question.
Yes.
so my question, is my question relevant now, or?
Yeah, so
My question is I was looking over the draft of the rental inspection, ordinance, and it's missing the, part about if the landlord is delinquent with his taxes, he can't get a license to operate in
yeah,
this.
she'd like to add that. I don't assume you don't care one way or the other with it.
No, as long as we're legally able to do those
Yeah.
things.
Now, and then there's, so that's not get a license. Would you also be saying revoke a license?
I would say.
Because we also have that funny thing about, you know, usually wanting the tenants to be able to run out their lease or at least a year or something before you start evicting tenants or anything. But
Well, then, okay.
What have you seen typically? What's standard?
I will say most typically, if there's anything about taxes, it would only be at the front end. And quite often it doesn't mention taxes at all because taxes are taxes and they have their own
Yeah.
life sort of.
I'm not sure why would we tie that into that?
There,
Yeah,
it's been
there's a lot of questions.
it's been tied into rental inspection ordinances before.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it can be. I mean, like I said, you could put it in, you know,
yeah, but
it's not
so here's my thing: if
universal.
they already own the building, and there's already people in there, like,
What do you do with the people?
we're
If you don't renew their license or give them a license, what do you do with the people? You're putting somebody out on the street.
That's true.
Yeah, and it's kind of different when we have a major. I mean, there are times we have to do that. You know, if we have a major property maintenance code issue, and we've had them come up. You know, there's no heat, or you know, people are building fires, and there's a point where, yeah, it's terrible. Somebody's got to be put out, but there's a point where, you know, it's not fit for human habitation. When you talk about the taxes, if the physical plan is all okay, you know, you can deal with the taxes like you'd always deal with the taxes. And
All right. Well, then let's forego that.
yeah. I'm just not sure I see the point of those two being connected.
No,
And that's just me.
I had seen it in a rental inspection ordinance before, and I was wondering if why we didn't have it in here.
Yeah, it's not, it's, if you're gonna do it, I'd almost suggest do it just for, you can't get the license
Right.
up, coming in the door to get a license, we're not, if you have a delinquency and it's not under appeal and in dispute, you're not a responsible player.
So on the up
Yeah.
then do it.
It's up to you guys, like I said.
And that,
You know,
that may only be beneficial for the upfront, and then 5 years, the tenants are in there and they're not paying their taxes, then what are we going to do when the tenants are in the midst of the lease? So, and
What do you
they
do
need
up
to do
front?
another annual,
What's that?
license renewal.
I mean, we can put a paragraph in if you want to, in the draft.
I don't know how important that is. I'm kinda in Angie's boat. It's like,
Yeah.
even doing it up front, like, when we implement it, it's new. Somebody could be in arrears with their taxes 2 months before we implement it, and come in for a rental inspection, people in there, and say, oh, we're not gonna give you one.
Yeah, and then they still get tenants then.
Mm-hmm.
You're not
Yeah.
gonna get
Alright.
the
Our-
point is to get these places looked at.
Well, that's a good point. I really think
Right,
we
so
do
that-
have people already.
Look for other problems.
All right, let's not look
Yeah,
for
our
problem where there
ultimate
isn't.
goal here is to look for the health and safety of.
Exactly,
Right,
that's the
exactly.
point of this, not to
All right.
chase down people's taxes. That's their
Right,
problem
yep.
with
All right,
another,
All right,
Up.
then let's let it go.
yeah.
okay.
Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you.
Electric report, Rob?
Good evening.
Hi.
Hi.
We've mainly been continuing out at Woodland Hills and also with our pole replacements. We took delivery of our new bucket truck and received training from Altech on its proper use and functions. And now the crew will be stocking and outfitting it so we can put it into service. Substation update, they're working on the 12 kV string bus installation as well as the control house interior. And they're beginning to tear down the existing primary overhead lines to make room for the transmission poles, which will be arriving this week and they'll be installed next week. GDS consultants will be attending the next business meeting to give a presentation on our behind the meter generation study.
Mm-hmm.
And one outage since the last report is a bad transformer on Hopper Street, and we replaced the transformer. And the action was already voted on.
And, we would add, we're down a person. We don't have a big line crew, but we're down a person. We lost somebody last week. And, so we're advertising for his replacement right now.
Is that ad currently running? Is that ad?
I don't know, did it get out yet? We posted in-house,
Posted it in-house.
but the ad's not out on the street yet, is it?
I have it on Indeed, but
Okay, so it is out on the street.
Okay.
Rob, I had a quick question. Did you have to go down to the main pavilion in Huffer Park and check out one of the fans?
We did, yeah, just today we did. It's completely locked up, so I talked to Matt about maybe just replacing all 3 of them. Because they don't make that model anymore. So
That's what I was wondering, if it's just time to, it's been many, many years. We're trying to continue to upgrade that building, so that's
yeah,
great.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
can't get that exact same one, so we're just gonna replace all 3.
Okay,
Great,
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
thanks.
Thank you.
Item number 16, finance. Hi.
Good evening, everybody. Hi. Just a few items on here I want to bring to your attention. The first one is I'm requesting a vote at the September 2nd meeting for the after audit transfer approval. These are our yearly transfers based on our audited financials for our rainy day stabilization and our sinking funds. The calculations are in the report down there. And then item number 2 is we received our audit engagement letter from Brown Plus, so I'm requesting a vote again at the September 2nd business meeting to engage Brown Plus for our 2025 audit that will happen in 2026. And the last item is requesting vote at the September 2nd meeting to approve the MMO calculations for 2026. These are based on numbers from our actuary, and this will be for the 2026 budget. Those sheets are in your packet.
Okay.
Any questions?
Angie?
I don't see the reindeer money. Is that in here? It did come in, right?
Reindeer money did come in, yes, for the Christmas fund.
What, fund is it, or where, fund is it in?
In the Christmas fund, I believe it's the first one there.
2,600? Is that how much it was? On 731? Yeah, that looks like there was 2,600 put in on 731, so maybe that's it, I think.
Yeah, we've received other checks in August, so that wouldn't be on there yet.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Sydney. Fire department? No one's here. Highway?
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Matt.
Pretty simple report. A couple things to note. The ceiling fans for the pavilion are downstairs. They came today. So we'll work with electric and get those installed. Briarcliff was paved. That was completed. Staff did a good job there. And, we replaced a piece of storm sewer out on Vine Street that developed a sinkhole on the top of it. So staff replaced that today. We'll put asphalt in it tomorrow. Anything for me?
Yeah, one quick
Yes.
thing. I got a phone call today from one of the coaches of the Seven Sorrows football youth organization, and he was hoping to be able to practice down on Susquehanna Street. And I said, well, we understood that you were out at the high school. You had found a place for your organization there. He said, well, here's the good news. There have been so many kids signed up. They have over 200 kids participating in the Seven Sorrows Football Youth Organization, which means they must run more and more practices. And the high school does not allow for lights. So I would, for one, would like to agree that they go back to that field that they've used forever. I know we thought they'd be off of it for a while and it would give you an opportunity to build it back up, but I guess things changed. And they need a place to run all their practices. So if that's something that we all want to support, I would say, of course, yes. And I'm happy to know that there's so many coaches and kids, and there's going to be a great football season this fall.
Absolutely.
So they want to go back down in Susquehanna because youth club isn't down there now?
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like kids, I guess, that signed up for youth club went over to Seven
Yeah.
Sorrows, 'cause-
Yeah.
so they have more people, and
Maybe they can take over the sheds and secure them while they're down there.
Right. And
Put their stuff down there?
so if that's what you want to do, we'll just have to try to plant in the spring or something and see what happens till the next season.
Right. Yeah, they typically were out at Fry. So yeah, they want to move down to Susquehanna Street since the lights are there and everything's down there.
yeah.
Okay.
Their practice schedule is Monday through Friday, 6 to 8. Monday, September 8th through November 24th.
Okay.
They thought November 24th might be a little late, but it depends on
Playoffs.
end of the season playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, do you have their contact information? Mr. Perez, did you talk to him before?
Percy Maple.
Percy Maple?
Yeah. I only have Facebook info, but I'm sure I can get his phone number. Yep.
So if you can find it, maybe we can communicate that council has agreed to let them go down there, even though you were gonna have other plans, but they agreed to do that, so we'll put our plans on.
saw there's another group. Did we get any special, thing down there? I saw an advertisement on Facebook. There's another group that wants to practice football down there.
I don't know. Nobody's contacted me.
I'll
Yeah.
have to look to see.
I actually drove down through there maybe Sunday, and there was somebody practicing, and it looked like the girls.
Yeah, the girls.
The
used to
girls that
practice
practiced there before, it looks like them, but they were kind of back in, so I'm not positive
Like
of that.
cheerleaders or football?
No.
Football.
Female football
Oh,
team.
I didn't
Yeah.
know they had that. Are they
Oh, yeah.
little girls
What's
or-
it called? Havoc?
Yeah.
Oh,
They
that's
have it.
adults. They never asked for permission from us to do that. You don't remember them doing that before?
No, I just saw a thing on Facebook. They were mentioning they were gonna have a practice there, or they've already started practice there.
Yeah, well, we support our local athletes and not the Harrisburg Havoc, so.
I think most of those people are from here.
Yeah, they're all, the majority of them are from Middletown.
Maybe they don't need lights. Maybe they can go to Fryfield.
Oh, well, they were down there in the morning.
Oh, in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were in the morning, like
Okay. Well, then
late
they-
morning.
All right, then that wouldn't conflict.
What is it, Sunday morning?
I think it was Sunday
Yeah.
morning.
Okay, I'll, check that out and see if we can get both groups on there cooperating. Make it available to both.
Great.
I would just contact, Seven Stars at this point.
Right,
If
Okay.
we hear some kind of interference from Seven Stars, then we'll get involved.
okay.
Okay.
That works. Anything else?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you, check down at Colston and, let me know if there are water lines down there anywhere?
As in potable water or storm sewer? Like drinking water, like a water service for a fountain, or?
Right.
Yes.
storm-
A long
Thank
time
you.
ago, there was a fountain down there. I don't
Yeah,
know if
there
there's still
used
one.
to be.
That's what I'm looking
Yeah.
for.
But I
The
think,
drinking fountain was there many years ago. I don't know if there's still one.
Yeah,
I think it got
I'll have to
covered
check
up.
with Veolia
Could you
and
look
see.
at
I
that?
think, I think all the drinking fountains, if I'm not mistaken, might have disappeared some 20 years ago when they were getting.
Well, we have free water now, so we should put drinking fountains in every park in this borough because we do not want anybody to be parched. Yes. But could you look at, at that and let me know?
On my right, I do, I appreciate that.
And also, I know this was brought up once before, but I just want to remind you that to make sure that that is looked at before the budgeting time, and we don't need anything. You know, there's not a lot of space there, so just some refresh on the equipment that's down there.
Okay. Yeah, for budgeting purposes, I'd probably have to have a little indication on what types of things you would want, that I could work
Okay.
on getting
I'll
pricing
help you
for. But yeah, we can come up with
with
something.
some ideas.
Sure.
okay.
No problem. Anything else?
But the water
Dave
line,
Thompson has his
like-
hand up.
Yeah.
Okay.
soonish.
Yep, I'll reach out to Veolia tomorrow. Hopefully they still have a map of maybe where it would be, or they can go out and locate it.
Oh, that would be great, actually.
Well, it's kind of where a little ways off from where the pavilion is. That's where the old water fountain used to be when it was down there.
Okay.
I do want to, just so council, a refresher on the free water thing. There is a maximum annual amount listed in the contract, so.
We can't go wash our cars in the park.
Yeah, it's free, but up to a certain amount.
Okay.
Dave, did you have a question for Matt?
Yeah, I was just wondering what the update was on the sinkhole up at Oakdale.
It's in our pipeline.
Okay,
Yeah, we have the pipe to do it.
okay,
So, and we're gonna work on the door that got broken there as well.
thank you.
You bet.
Do any of you have any other questions? No? Okay, thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Number 19 is Mara. The Mara meeting is not until Monday night, so there's no report for this meeting. And number 20 is police. Hi, Dan.
Good evening, everybody.
Evening.
Just a couple points on my report. Students are back. They're moving in this week. Classes start next week, so as usual, if you receive any complaints or issues, bring them to my attention as quickly as possible so we can try to address it. Community events we attended, Genesis Court, Dauphin County Housing had a back-to-school event last Friday. A couple officers attended that. Public Works Director Miller and I met with Chris Hughes from the Moose about the parade, the Halloween parade, and their planned expansion of having a fall festival earlier in the day. The only change that's going to affect us is the time. They will possess that property. Used to be from about 4:30 on. It's now going to start about 10:30 or 11. They don't plan on closing any additional streets or requesting any additional resources from us, other than they're going to be there all day. We checked with the Hoffer Park schedule of pavilion rentals. There are no rentals for that day already existing, so we put a hold on that temporarily if council does pass their permit application, because they fill up the park with preparations for the parade pretty full, and it definitely causes a conflict if people have a rental at the same time. So I don't see that being any type of problem. I think that he's very enthusiastic and has great plans for this festival. The homecoming application, parade application that was discussed earlier, we've done this every year since I've been here. They get their hot rods out together and the alumni all drive up to the homecoming game. It's done with minimal resources. I don't expect that to be an issue. There was a CRT incident on Highland Avenue. I don't know if any of you saw that. We called out Dauphin County CRT to assist with the warrant service. Just happened to be the guy who assaulted the train employee that we had talked about. Officers, we obtained an arrest warrant for him, and officers saw him out walking both of the dogs that we knew were a little vicious based on the fact that they had attacked each other on a previous walk he was on. So officers kept an eye on him till he dropped the dogs off at that house and then came back out to leave. And when they approached him, he ran back in the house. Then he holed himself up in the basement. So Dauphin County CRT was requested. They came out and they took him into custody relatively quickly with little incident. The air show for 2026. I was at an after-action review for the air show. They are considering making it a 3-day event and are looking at the potential impact to surrounding communities and whether we have any feedback for them. They suggested somewhat that it would be coinciding with the 250th anniversary of our country celebration. They suggested people much more important to us that work in Washington, D.C. may be attending. So this might be a very big deal next year. As far as our resources go, a lot of the fire, police, and traffic control points were manned by volunteers. I'm not sure of their commitment to giving up their entire Memorial Day weekend is going to be. I don't know how that would affect our ability to provide traffic control points for all 3 days, but it is somewhat of a concern. I'm not suggesting we are the ones that raise our hands and say, we don't want a third day, but if it is a third day, that's something that would potentially be a concern for me. But they're looking for some feedback. I'm not suggesting we give them any, but just for your situational awareness, they're looking at 3 days. So
Is that Saturday, Sunday, and Monday?
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and we didn't have any issues. Crowds were very well behaved.
Right.
There was quite a few people down on Susquehanna Street. It was parked full. Boat ramp was parked full. But just an FYI. And in closing, the only other thing I have, if you saw the Crime Watch post, a young lady donated 5 cases of Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies to the police department.
Oh, really?
That's a lot of cookies. I'm sure we'll go through them pretty quickly, but they also were heading to the fire department after us, but I believe they had a working structure fire today, so they weren't able to receive them. I provided her Kenny's information, and she's gonna make sure they get their cookies too. I offered to hold them for him, but she didn't think they'd make it to the fire department.
Somebody told them how much you love Thin Mint cookies.
That's right. So if anybody wants any cookies, stop by the department, have a couple, bring me a coffee, I'll make sure you get some cookies, so. Has anybody got anything else?
Dan, I noticed this summer that the student housing project started at Penn State. So right now, Wharton Avenue is two ways.
Correct.
So I was wondering if we could get some information about how many student cars would be added to the streets by virtue of that.
From the housing or from the construction that's occurring?
From the housing. So once the housing is completed, it'd be interesting to know how many more student cars
Okay.
would be parked there, which is on their property. But I think my real question is Wharton and then down Spring, Wharton out Roosevelt. Is it time to make Wharton one way, drive the traffic out to 30?
It's definitely gonna impact the amount of traffic on Spring Street.
Yeah.
That's one of the, when we had the traffic study done, if you recall, we had a traffic study done on that corridor specifically about Wharton being one way. That student housing complex was not a part of that traffic study.
Right.
And I don't think we had knowledge that it was going to be put in at the time.
Not at that time.
There's usually enough parking on the student housing complex to handle who lives there, but you know from living on Spring Street, if you don't have a sticker for Nittany Place, you're parking out in the street.
I think my thought isn't so much parking, but it's additional cars coming down Wharton, down Spring, out Roosevelt. If it could somehow
I'll try to see
be
how many rooms they have.
split
See.
out to 30.
Yeah, it's definitely going to increase our traffic.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. And it'll probably increase the amount of traffic on Roosevelt and, not Roosevelt, but those two cross streets there. Because you'll have people going to the housing, not just going to school, so. It's something we'll keep an eye on. I'll try to find out how many rooms, how many.
If you
how
could
many
get,
units.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That would be helpful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
What's the co-responder?
The co-responder, I talked about a couple meetings ago, that's mental health professional.
I thought that's what
Yeah.
it was, okay.
Yeah, we're still waiting on the result of that grant, and once the grant is approved, they're gonna notify me and request to attend a council meeting and educate us all a little bit better on exactly what it is and how the program works.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Joint venture Veolia. Grace, note no one's here. And council. Does council have anything?
I do.
Okay.
So I have a couple things. My first thing that I actually want to bring up is, I want to talk about parking in, borough parks overnight. So do we have anything that currently says that you can't park in borough parks overnight?
I think we do.
Specific parks such as Hoffer Park are closed, so you cannot be there. Parking lots like the one next to the building here, there are no restrictions, or the ones in the back. There are no restrictions on length of time, overnight. In fact, there's a couple trailers parked over there that have been there for quite some time. There's a couple cars parked on the pool parking lot. There's no restrictions on that.
So what?
Is there any down at Susquehanna Street around the ball fields?
No.
No. Okay.
So how was it determined what parks are marked no overnight parking and which ones aren't?
Well, this isn't a park, this is a municipal parking lot, and the pool is a municipal parking lot, so.
Yeah, I'm talking parks.
If it's a park, I don't believe any car can park. I think Oak Hill probably has specific restrictions about park closes at dark. Are there cars parked in Oak Hill overnight that
Well, I'm not hanging out at the park at night, so
Oh.
I don't know. If you'd like
mean,
me to check, I can certainly
Hopper,
do
you know,
so, but like, I'm in bed.
Any park is patrolled by police and any unattended vehicle is investigated to see if there's anybody in it, or to see if it's stolen, or to see if it even belongs to the
No, yeah, no, I know. I'm just trying to figure out like what, like if we have something about the parks in general, not the municipal lots, the
Okay.
actual parks themselves.
Yeah, I think it's in the in the code book,
Yeah.
the big blue book.
Yeah, there's,
I think we have hours and things like that.
Hoffer and
Yeah,
Oak Hill that have parking lots within the park.
it's in the ordinance.
So the lots have to be within the actual park.
Right.
The park closes, meaning everything. You can't be on the swing, you can't be in the parking lot after dark. I got a ticket when I was 15 in Oak Hills.
What were you doing in the park? Oh, there you go. Now we know somebody that parks in.
it's your fault. We won't ask her what you were doing.
Huh. Oh, and okay. And it has to be, so you can't make it all the parks. Can you make it all, can we make it all the parks?
The majority of you can.
But I think you have to have a parking
I think-
lot.
Yeah,
The
no,
first thing-
you can,
The first thing I should do is pull up the specific ordinance that addresses the parks and evaluate if it differentiates between the parks.
Park closes, so anything inside the park.
Just for all the parks?
Yep.
Park and park conservation areas shall generally be open daily to the public between dawn and dusk.
Oh, I thought you were like waving because you had
Use of
something.
any lighted recreational areas, including the basketball courts and sand volleyball courts at Hoffer and baseball parks, may only be used between the hours of dusk and dawn, pursuant to a special permit obtained in advance of the office of the borough manager. So you can't use the lighted basketball courts unless you get permission from the borough.
Yeah.
So,
So a park like this over here, you can't be in the park, but you could be in that parking lot, because that's not a parking lot that's within the park, that's a borough lot.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's different.
Susquehanna Street's the same thing, I mean, there are some pull-offs off of Susquehanna Street on that pavilion side, but I don't know, that's a little bit sketchy.
we haven't considered that park parking historically. If it is considered part of park parking and we believe we should address it,
It's almost like angle
will.
parking along a street in a way.
I mean,
But it shouldn't be a storage lot down there.
No.
That, especially right
Are
at
we-
that pavilion.
are we addressing the trailers that
Yeah.
park there? Yeah, that was tagged as abandoned, it was made legal, it was moved, made legal, and it was returned.
Yeah, it came back.
And was it,
Now the owner removed it and
okay,
brought it into compliance with it being a legal vehicle and is now parked there again.
that's what I'm
So-
questioning.
I see what you're saying, but like the fields down at Med Ed,
Okay.
that little lot across from the baseball field where there's like 4 or 5 pull-ins, those spots are for people that are going to Med Ed to watch baseball games. They should not be used as a parking lot for somebody to park anything overnight at any point. That to me is a lot that goes with that baseball field. Just like the pavilion parking lot at Susquehanna Field should be for people that are at Susquehanna Field or down at the boat dock.
Not
Like,
a storage lot.
right.
Mm.
Not for somebody
Mhm.
to park overnight for whatever reason.
If we consider those part of the parks, I think a solution for the Susquehanna Street one would be nice little sign, Susquehanna Street park parking only, park closes at dark.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
If we consider it part of the park,
That and the Med Ed.
and
Yeah.
I'll be more than happy to enforce it.
Yeah, I think you can solve it with a sign.
Okay.
Because the ordinance
I mean-
exists, if we're gonna, they are parks, they are parking technically for the parks. I've just never considered that part of it because cars park like
It's right
that
off
on a
the
regular
road.
basis, it's
Right.
right on the road. just considered it, you know, like angled parking anywhere else. But I think if we can come up with a sign with Matt and we post it, I don't think we need to change any ordinances. I believe by letter of the law, they are parks.
Yeah.
And we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I wasn't thinking you weren't
I know.
doing something, but.
I know. Yeah, we'll take care of it.
You all in agreement? You wanna do this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you, and again, the pool is our property. And a sign at the pool parking lot, private parking, private property, no parking, it's our property. I can enforce that.
Yeah, for the sign.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they all shook their head, yeah, affirmative.
But I know
Good.
some residents use the pool parking who live across the street just as a convenience.
Right.
We had a little bit of graffiti on the one handicap space, but I don't believe that was a resident-related issue.
Yeah.
Right.
Hopefully that area will become a park on both
Right.
sides.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Hopefully,
Yeah. And then at that point, then we can,
then we'll address it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Matt and I'll take care of it.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. I have something else too,
Okay.
sorry. This is actually a question for you.
Okay.
What is the ordinance, or explain to me what is supposed to happen when, say, for example, UGI was working on my street and they made 2 cuts. And then they came back and they reopened them, and then they came back again and they filled them in, and now there's like 2 patches. What is the ordinance in terms of what they're supposed to be doing to pave that? Because, like years ago, right after I first came on council, there was this big to-do about this ordinance of these
Curb cut.
road repairs.
Street cut ordinance.
Yes, like the paving that was supposed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that I understand it, because what I thought it was supposed to be is definitely not what's happening.
I'm not sure what's happening, but lots of times when you have a utility that opens up a road, when they're done, they'll temporary patch it.
Mm-hmm.
And they get a permit from us, and Matt handles that, and we have to watch it. They have a certain amount of time, come back to restore it permanently.
Mm-hmm.
And there are specs for how they're supposed to restore it. I can't recite what those specs are.
Yeah.
But generally, you have to cut back and get it squared off. If there's more than one in so many feet, you've heard us talk about, then they might have to paint or repave a whole lane. Like when UGI went up and Veolia went up through Union Street, there were so many cuts for every house. They had to repaint or repave the whole lane. But for just one service, it's going to be a repair patch, like in front of one house. They'll temporarily patch it, and they usually hire.
Right. No, I understand
pavement
that
company to
process
Mm.
of doing like a temporary patch. It's just that, like, and I know, you know, UGI and Veolia are doing a lot of work in the borough, but more and more, it's like every road I drive on is just awful,
They're cutting them up, yeah.
Yeah.
like terrible, and it seems like the repairs are just as bad.
Yeah, I don't know if you recall, I don't know, maybe about, Matt probably recalls, I think it was like 2-3 years ago, UGI had somebody working for them on Union Street that just did awful repairs. I think they were actually using
Oh,
a
yeah.
dump truck to flat
Yeah.
out the,
Yeah.
he had to, you know, really, wrangle with them to get them to come back and do it the right way. So, yeah, they don't always go as we want, but we have a process that we go after them, and, you know,
Yeah.
I was like,
I
what are
thought
you
were,
doing
I
there?
thought
No,
a bug was
just-
flying around. A spider was after me. Sorry. But yeah, I just can't recite it here. We can get it to you.
No, that's okay. I
But
need
but as
you
far
to
as
explain it to me, because I'm not sure if I read it, I would
Yeah.
completely.
well, as far as all the digging that goes on, we can't dictate to these other utilities. They have a right to dig our streets.
No, I know. I understand that
Yeah.
too. I just,
Yeah.
they're just terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
and
There-
like,
There are real specific, you would understand if you read it. I remember Craig Wilsboff
Mm-hmm.
really, but it really, you can get out with a ruler almost and if you cut this much, then you must pave this much, you know, there's,
Yeah, I remember that. part.
unfortunately though, it doesn't help the aesthetics because you still have
Mm-hmm.
patch, and that's in every town. I mean, everybody hates, you know, you repave your roads and then they get cut up, you know, right after that. But when it does get into a safety drivability, I know we had one in Susquehanna Township, it was a major disaster, cause it was a bike lane and it was catching tires, you could throw them into cars and stuff, and we had to make them come back and, you know, repave half of, you know, a street. But, you know, aesthetically, a lot of time, if it's safe, it's
Yeah.
not gonna change, it's gonna look terrible.
If there's even, you know, if there's a temporary repair that's really horrible, like it's too high and dangerous, if we know, you know, Matt can get in touch with them, say, this is not acceptable, get out here and fix it. You know, we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it's too low, sometimes they settle.
Well, yeah, there's like on the block of one of the blocks coming off of Union, there's like 3 repairs that are already like dipping. And
Settle.
I'm like, they're not even that old.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll start making some notes.
They probably
Sorry,
didn't
Matt.
tamp well when they did it, or typically when, you know, you more likely have that happen when they are doing trenches when it's really dry out. And if they don't tamp correctly, they can just really sink.
Yeah.
The rain comes, you know, it's been really dry, rain comes and all those fines wash down and it sinks. Matt, maybe you can drive by and look out that way, see what's going on.
Yeah, took a note. I will do so.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I have something. I just want to respectfully just say how disappointed I was with that conversation tonight regarding the electric increase. And the reason I say that is because, one, I feel like this council doesn't converse enough in the public. Things get brought up, we kind of look at each other stone and then just move on. When there's opportunities for discussions. Today was an opportunity for a discussion. One counselor said, you know what, I changed my mind, let's maybe hold off. Another counselor said, we're still getting information, and then we still push this through. This very much, to me, felt like, let's get this voted on, get this over with, rather than let's get more information. At the end of the day, you're my teammates, you know, there's no ill feelings from me. But it just felt that way to me, that we just pushed it through. You're right. You have your opinion. You were voted by the people here. I respect you, but I just felt like I had to say that.
Okay. And I'll follow up on that. I didn't like how that happened either, but I think that discussion needed to happen before tonight. You know, I think that was the big problem. And we really didn't have.
Could have tabled that. That is a sellout answer. You could have easily all voted that resolution down tonight, and we would have had plenty of time.
Mayor, I was
That's
speaking.
the option. You made your bed.
That's why we don't talk.
I
We
just,
don't talk because you won't talk behind the scenes. Oh, we got to get more information out because Curry's running to the public. That's who I answer to. I don't answer to any of you.
Jim,
don't.
Anyone else?
Well, I was just gonna say to you
Okay.
that, specifically on what you, because I had said like, you know, I'll wait to vote until after the 2nd and look at the trust. I'm not opposed to looking after September 2nd at options for the trust in terms of the rate for
Correct.
next year, the actual rate itself. That's not off the table for me. So my vote tonight doesn't mean I'm closed off on the trust and the rate, just to
Right.
clarify to you so you understand where I'm coming from, just FYI.
Appreciate that.
If you didn't understand that, I'm explaining that to you.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, maybe the error was that we lumped everything together and maybe we shouldn't have, but we did. And I do feel that we needed to move forward with 2025 and get this year forward and we can work on 2026. That's not, we can do that separately, and that's why I asked that question. We can do a resolution that just says we can offset the rate increase with the trust if we choose to.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that's me to you.
Thank you.
But I appreciate you expressing your feelings.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
No.
Now is the time for public comment. Does anyone have a comment?
I just stood up because my knees were getting sore. If you don't mind if I don't have to come up.
You actually do, so they can hear you on the video.
You hear my voice? On your videos, by the way, since you brought that up, when you watch your videos, nothing against you, Ken, but when you talk, you can't be back in your chair. You have to be at the mic.
Thanks for the advice.
I cannot hear you at all.
Thank you.
There's the feedback.
I'm Fudge Ann Street, you already know that. It's just something for Matt, and I know he drives over it every day. Down here, across from Carnes, in the street, there's starting to get another belly wash out in the middle of the road, and that's sanitation sewer there, I believe, or runoff sewer. We replaced and filled that in when I was still working with the highway department, and then it only lasted a couple years. They redid it again, and it's starting to do it again. It's been like a year and a half, but it's starting to wash out more. It's right in the center of the road. No, here. Carnes Maker, Emaw Street. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Chrissy Thomas, 237 Water Street. I just have a question, just so I think I'm understanding it. Okay. So, to take the money out of the electric trust to offset the electric, how long of a period of time would you be doing that for? Like, what's feasible for that?
I personally have no idea. That's why I was like wanted to get more information. Like, what are some options, some recommendations?
So, like, when it happened in 2014, how long was it taken out for that? Like, was it years? Like 2 years, or?
I don't think it was that long.
It was just a lump sum.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
prior to that, prior to then,
mhm.
it would happen almost every year, back, in the early 2000s.
And after that stopped, okay, and like you weren't offsetting the electric anymore with the trust. If I remember correctly, everybody's electric in town went up like 30%.
Absolutely, and it hurt.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And that's one of the reasons that I don't support it.
Yeah.
It's the after fact.
I mean,
that
I
gets
think
you.
people understand that it would offset it now, and I understand that, okay, it may not go up 30%, but you can't guarantee that it's not going to.
Right.
And, you know, to get smacked in the face with a 30% increase on your electric bill, I mean, I don't know, that's just my, I just wanted to make sure I understood it, you know. Okay, all right, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Seeing none, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Are we having executive session?
Oh, there's no executive session.
There's no executive.
No.
What? I'm so disappointed. I mean, you're letting me down.
Is he off?